Janet,
You know what?
you have come up with a technique that I know for a because I've been using it that literally now listen, nothing is 100%, but I got to tell you it sure has worked for me. Uh, Snoring. My snoring, I took the CPAP machine off after I met Janet, and I should be snoring now, and I'm not. So,
Yay.
unless a little fairy came with their little magic wand while I was asleep,
Yeah,
Janet's techniques
you're giving out my
work.
secret.
Yeah. So, Janet, tell everybody about. See, you have some of the greatest stories. My favorite's the football player
I know.
because the reason why is I understand why he wasn't doing well in school. I
Hmm.
understand why he was always tired. So have at it. The floor is
Okay.
yours.
Okay. Thank you. I will tell you about the 14-year-old football player. So, about 20 years ago, I was treating this 14-year-old kid for a tongue thrust. And a lot of you may not know what a tongue thrust is, but it's just when you swallow, you start your swallow incorrectly by pushing it out or pushing the back of your teeth. You've seen people with buck teeth, and that's probably why they have buck teeth, because they're swallowing the wrong way. Anyway, so I was teaching him how to swallow correctly. And the way you teach somebody to swallow correctly is by using tongue exercises. There is no other way to do that, because we're talking about the tongue. So I have a 7-week program, and the third week that he came into my office, his mom stuck her head in the door and she said, "Janet, what are you doing to Adam?" And I said, "I don't know. What do you mean?" And she said, "Well, he's always been the loudest snorer in the world. He makes our windows rattle." She said, "And now he's not making a sound." Well, guys, I didn't know anything about snoring. I turned to Adam and I said, "Well, tell me more." And he said, "I'm doing better in school. I can concentrate better. I'm making better grades, and I run faster." Well, when he said he ran faster, that meant more to me than the fact that he wasn't rattling their windows as anymore, because I didn't know about snoring. So anyway, I got on the computer. Like I said, this was 20 years ago. Got on the computer, and I just knew I was going to find that they treat snoring by doing tongue exercises. They're easy. I mean, they don't hurt, they're not hard. It doesn't take long to do them. And here, this kid had already stopped snoring after 2 weeks of treatment. But no, that was not on the internet. No, they wanted to do some wild, horrible things like cut off your uvula, that thing that hangs down in the back, or break your jaw and pull it forward so your airway's bigger, or put you on a CPAP machine, Darth Vader. But back then, these things were huge. Just all
Yes.
kinds, or sell you a very expensive retainer of some
Yeah.
kind. So
The
no,
dentist.
no word about tongue exercises. So I got excited and my life changed from that day forward. And that's what I've been passionate about. I found 86 people all over the United States. Very quickly, I found them. They said they would be my guinea pig for a new treatment to stop snoring. I wanted to test it and see, if it helped somebody else. So after treating these 86 people, and we didn't have Zoom then, so we did it over the phone and email and stuff.
How
But
many of those people were on a CPAP machine, Janet?
11 of them were on
Okay.
CPAP. But after finishing everybody, 94% of those people stopped snoring. Now, I didn't have a
Amazing.
control group. Okay, I did not have a control group. To me, do you still snore? Yes or no? you know. and, and so, I mean, it doesn't go that way in our scientific world, though. No one really wants to hear about my what I discovered, but 94% stopped snoring, and nowhere to this day can you find anything else online or anywhere where 94% stop doing just about anything. So I was terribly excited, and that's what started all of this about tongue exercises and stopping snoring. But the thing is, before I go any further about the treatment, I want to make sure that you listeners and people who are watching, if you're in the right place. I mean, how do we know? I want you to understand that you don't just snore. You have to have your mouth open to make that noise. You really, if your lips are closed while you're sleeping, I don't see how you can snore. There's a very small percentage who snore through their nose, but that's totally different and not something that I can fix. But anyway, so I want you to understand what other problems you may have, and you're not aware that they're all due to snoring, which is due to mouth breathing. Okay, so before we start, I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want you to listen to the questions and take note. Count how many of these questions you say yes to. So, do you wake up in the morning and have a dry mouth? Do you wake up and have a headache that goes away pretty quickly? Or do you wake up with a sore throat that goes away pretty quickly? Do you get sleepy during the daytime? And a lot of people have to take a nap during the daytime, maybe just a 15-minute nap. Do you, after being in the bed for enough hours, 7 or 8 hours, do you still wake up tired? Do you wish you could just sleep for 5 more minutes? Um, Do you ever have bad dreams? I'm looking at my cheat sheet here so I don't miss any. Do you ever have bad dreams? Do you wake up with messy sheets? That means you're a restless sleeper. Do you ever have pain in your neck and shoulders? Do you chew your food with your mouth open? What in the world does that have to do with snoring? I'll tell you in a minute. Do you Right now, think about where your tongue is. I know it's inside your mouth, but is it on the roof of your mouth or is it laying on the bottom? Is it pushing against any teeth? Let's see. Do you get up during the night to go to the bathroom more than one time? Some people get up 5 times. Let's see. Do you have trouble
I have,
concentrating? Huh?
Janet, I have one for you to add to your list.
What?
Do you fall asleep when you're driving?
Oh, well, yeah, that's terrible. I know we've talked about that, and that's why I would love
Yes.
to get involved with the Truck Driving Association or whatever you call it,
Yes.
um, because that's a huge thing. Yeah, so if anybody has any ideas on how I can get involved in that, let me know. Do you ever have stomach aches or pains after you eat? Now, do you get bloated or feel bloated? Now, I'm going to stop a minute. All these things, that questions I'm asking you, have to do with whether you breathe through your mouth while you're sleeping or not. That's it. Do you breathe through your mouth when you're sleeping? If so, you're getting in dirty, cold air. And that's not allowing you, get ready, it's not allowing you to get into REM sleep, REM. We know what that is. That's that deep sleep that helps rejuvenate your body while you're sleeping, and you feel great when you wake up in the morning. So that's not going to happen, folks, until you learn how to stop breathing through your mouth. So my treatment program is 7 weeks long. You have one lesson of tongue exercises once a week, new exercises each week. You start with the muscles in the tip of your tongue and go to the back of your tongue. You make your tongue stronger. You make it more toned, because your tongue, if you're a mouth breather, your tongue doesn't have the boundaries that ours does. It's allowed to kind of be fat and happy, okay? And some people find they have a very wide tongue. So this program, these exercises train your tongue to live on the roof of your mouth, not on the bottom. Have you ever had an experience where maybe you were focusing on something and all of a sudden you realized your mouth was full of saliva and it almost strangled you because it went down over the base of your tongue before you were ready to swallow? I bet most people have had that experience at some point. But anyway, that happened because your tongue was living on the bottom of your mouth. If your tongue had been up like that when your lips were closed, you would have been able to handle that saliva very easily and quickly. But anyway, that's one of the many things. So I just want you to understand that when you take on this treatment program, you are going to feel so much better everywhere because it's going to help you breathe better because you'll breathe through your nose. You'll be able to get into REM sleep. It's going to help you learn how to swallow correctly so that you don't choke or, have any problems eating and drinking. It's going to help you wake up feeling like $1 million. That would be good, right? Okay, so you you can buy this program online, 7 weeks long. You have a 60-day money-back guarantee. You have access when you get this program. You click on lesson 1, and you can go to see me at a special site. And I am teaching an adult male how to do those exercises that you are getting ready to learn. So it'll be like you're sitting there with us, and I'm teaching you how to do the exercises.
Janet, I want to interject it because I'm doing it. Um, it is so amazing how fast your tongue remembers where it's supposed to be. I was shocked at that
Good point.
doing your exercises.
I
Yes,
remember you telling me that. Yeah, your tongue has yeah, you might that's great, Steve. I'm glad
bad
you brought that
memory.
up. After you do exercises, you might be thinking, well, when I stop doing the exercises after 7 weeks, what's going to happen? Is my tongue going to go right back? No, because it has muscle memory. And you'll keep talking and chewing and doing all the regular things, and that'll keep your tongue strong and toned. But let me just finish. Whenever you go on to start lesson 1, you need to agree before you get the program. You need to tell yourself that you promise to do the exercises at least 2 times a day. And sometimes you can mess up and do it 3 times a day. It won't hurt. Okay? So that's important. If you don't think you're going to do that, do not invest in this program. The exercises will only take 10 or 15 minutes, so it's not a lot of time out of your day. Most of them you can do while you're driving to work. Okay, but anyway, so there's another video. After you learn how to do those exercises for lesson 1, you can go to another video where I am sitting there waiting for you to do your exercises. So you can come in, sit down. You don't have to have anything to read. You just copy me. I'll tell you what to do to do your exercises, and then you leave and come back again. I'm trying to make all of this as easy as possible. Okay. Um, so let's see, what else, Steve? What else can
I
I?
think
Oh, I know.
one of the most important things is how easy these exercises are.
I know. Right,
You
and they
have
don't
developed
hurt.
something that is, look, you know what your bottom line is? Your choices are going to a CPAP machine like I have been on, or sleeping like a normal human being with no apparatus on your face.
I know.
And
I
the
know.
exercises you've created, Janet, are so easy. You
I
just have
know.
to do them.
I know. I know. See, a lot of times people will say, let's say I'm teaching someone a new exercise and they can do it and it's easy for them. So their thought might be, oh, I don't need to practice this one because I already know how to do it. But see, that's not the way you work muscles. That's not the way you make muscles stronger. You've got to go through the motion of making your tongue do that particular exercise a certain number of times, certain number of days, or you won't get the benefit from being good at doing it. Okay, so that little thing is so important. But here's something I wanted to show you. This is called a tongue stick. Couldn't think of a better name
How
for it.
did you develop that?
Can't
I
get it.
always forget to ask you,
Yes, I
how
know.
did you do
See,
that?
there are little 3 little balls there and a little paddle. Well, I'll tell you what I did. I mean, as a kid, did any of you ever, go to the, Walmart or whatever, and you get this, clay that you can bake? Okay, so you get this clay and you mold it into something, maybe an animal or something, and you pop it in the oven and it hardens. Okay, so what I did, I went back to several adults that I had already treated with this program and who had successfully stopped snoring. And I had been using, I needed something to help make the tongue skinnier. We can literally make the tongue skinnier because you tickle the muscles on the sides of the tongue and they go like that. And so your tongue gets skinnier and there's that muscle memory that's going to keep it there. So anyway, I was using a straw or swizzle stick, but that didn't work well because it kept sliding off the tongue. So I invented this stick and I literally bought my clay, baked it in the oven. I had these adults to try out several different sticks that I baked in the oven, so they could tell me which ones were best, which one because they'd gone through the program, and they told me which ones. I have two different ends, and lo and behold, they all came back with the same two that were the
Wow.
best. And so it's just a matter of like stroking the side of your tongue, and we also add in an isometric exercise for that. So this is one of the most important things about the program. And the other most important part is when we train your subconscious mind to keep your tongue up on the roof of your mouth while you sleep. And it really works,
By
folks.
the way,
Yeah,
Jen, I want to tell you something. Sometimes it'll just pop into my head, where's my tongue at? And now it's always at the roof of my mouth now.
right,
I mean, I don't even think about it. It just naturally does it.
right,
And Janet specializes in thrust, and she explained that it's your tongue is larger. I was biting my tongue
right. I
all the
forgot
time.
about that.
And since I started doing Janet's exercise, I don't think I've bitten my tongue at least in the last 2 months.
And that's because your tongue is skinnier. There is no other explanation for
Who
why
would have
you are
thought of
no
something
longer
like that?
biting your tongue. The tongue is no longer in the way. Why? Because it's skinnier. And the reason we need to do it, make it skinnier, is so that you can keep it up there.
Right,
The upper top, your palate is smaller than down on the bottom, and your tongue is not used to fitting up there. So I've planned all this out, and so far it's working perfectly. Even works
Janet,
with
tell
kids.
people how dangerous it is with the snoring and what
Okay,
it's doing to them health wise.
right. Okay, well, let's back up. How does all this start? Um, okay, so I don't know how maybe you started sleeping with your mouth open.
Mhm.
What I have discovered in treating all these people with tongue thrust is if your tongue is too big for your mouth, or if you're used to swallowing with your tongue right here at your teeth, when you lay down to sleep and all of your muscles relax, your tongue is easily going to push your lips open. Okay? And you will be mouth breathing and not even realize it. Because, folks, if your mouth is not open, your bed partner is not going to complain that you're snoring. I promise. Okay? It's not going to happen. So let's say you keep breathing through your mouth and your snoring gets louder. Let's say you might put a few pounds on, okay? So you get more than you want around your neck maybe.
Yes,
And you get louder and the years go by and all of a sudden one night you go while you're sleeping. And that means that you stop breathing. Now, that's because when you were just snoring, just part of your tongue, your tongue blocked just part of the airway.
right.
Okay, so there was still a place for air to go back and forth to make that sound. But whenever you kept snoring and snoring and snoring, you ended up letting your entire tongue block your airway, and that's when you stop breathing, and that's when your bed partner is wake up, wake up, wake up. And they're scared to death because you stop breathing. So let's think. Some people do that 40 times an hour. What is that going to do to your heart? If
Yeah.
your heart stops 40 times an hour, it can be disastrous. Okay. And so that's what you want to make sure does not keep going on. So I cannot tell you that my tongue exercises will get rid of your sleep apnea, but what I can tell you is that my tongue exercises will help you stop snoring and close your mouth. So then I don't know how you'll get sleep apnea.
I'm telling you, I'm actually shocked because I went to all kind of doctors, and the last doctor had put me on I'm on a BiPAP machine, not CPAP,
You were
BiPAP.
bad.
I was bad. And we all don't like to admit we snore. It's almost like a taboo, but it's very
Mhm,
dangerous.
mhm.
And listen, I knew that I had nothing to lose by trying Janet's techniques.
And I don't know if you remember this story, but I grew up being with my granny and granddaddy a lot while my mom worked. And granddaddy was always way over there in the corner of the room in his big chair, snoring away. And now, this is what we were taught to believe. When granddaddy is snoring, that means that he's sleeping really well.
Oh,
Isn't that
wow.
something? We believed that. I mean, there was no reason not to believe that, but it's totally not true. It's a bad sign. But
Well, I got
anyway,
to tell you, I have not used my the only, the only reason why I used my sleep pap machine about a month ago was my doctor wanted me to do another sleep test. And
right.
yeah, you have to wear it in order to do the
I
sleep
know
test.
because they
But
don't believe this could possibly work.
I have, listen, I tried everything. You know, the little strips that you buy at CVS? I did those. Nothing worked. The CPAP machine had kept me from snoring,
Right. Oh,
but it's so uncomfortable,
I know. Let
Janet.
me say this right quick because I know we're running out of time. There are a lot of people out there who cannot comfortably breathe through their nose.
Right,
But you snore, you mouth breathe. You can't do my exercises if you can't breathe through your nose because you will die when you try to keep your lips closed.
right,
Okay? So, this is what you need to do. Go to your ear, nose, and throat doctor. Tell them to fix your nose, whatever it takes, so that you can breathe through your nose. And then you come back and you do these tongue exercises.
right.
Don't let a clogged up nose stop you from saving your heart. Oh,
Yeah,
that's a
it's
good
true.
slogan. Don't let a clogged nose stop you from saving your heart.
But it
Okay.
really, it listen, if you want to get off that sleep pap machine, and you know what I love about Janet, she never once told me, "Hey, 100%, I'm going to get rid of your." I mean, what I'm trying to say is she was so honest with me, which a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
doctors aren't. They either want to do that surgery or uh, listen. Bottom line.
Steve, you froze up on us. Janet, go ahead and talk more about
Okay.
the
Okay. Um,
exercises.
okay. So, here again, if you are interested in stopping snoring and you don't want to have any kind of surgery or spend a whole lot of money on something that probably won't work, then it's best if you go to um, I justwanttosleep.com or correctmytonguethrust.com. Those are the same exercises. You may have a tongue thrust and you don't know about it. So right now, if you find that your tongue is pushing against the back of your teeth when you swallow, you have a tongue thrust. So go ahead and do all help you get everything back on track.
Janet, you're a speech therapist, is that correct?
Right.
So I don't want people think you're just like some housewife that just
Uh,
sat around with nothing to do. I mean,
Careful.
you
Careful.
have a lot of experience, but what you have done is God sent. And again, let's give everybody your phone number and your website again.
Okay. It's 828-273-9888. and it's author, AUTHOR, author at IJustWantToSleep.com. You can remember that. I just want to sleep. Contact me. I will respond to you. I will call you back. I will email you, do whatever we need to do. You can, let's see, www.correctmytonguethrust.com or www.ijustwanttosleep.com. You can just put my name in. They know me out there. You'll find me that way.
Janet, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That's Janet Bennett. I got to tell you, she just completely, I'm cured. There's no way that I'm going to go to sleep tonight and start snoring again. I'm doing the exercises because the exercises are so much better than wearing a CPAP machine to sleep in. Anyhow, Janet's with us every month. We'll be back with you next week with more Ask the Experts. Stay safe. See you soon.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Experts show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.